Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. And Kelly Cook is in the house. Kelly, how are you doing today? Keep it simple. What kind of day are you having?
Oh, doing great. You know what? It's funny because it is now December 10th as of this recording. So this will come out, still here before Christmas. And the year's not over. The year, listen, I think in the last week and a half, we've had 2 deals. Not just consummate, but also will close by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Now, it's hard to do. And we talk about business planning all the time that the first month of the year starts December 1st, right? Because it's a 30-day lag.
It's a little bit of a cycle. Yeah.
That's right. So we're in 2026 already for closings, right? For revenue, for hitting a business goal. But in terms of if you can get a deal still consummated and close end of the year, we had 2 already in the past week or so. It's awesome. So it's like a little, nice bonus, if you will.
Yeah.
Christmas bonus, right? According to Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation, that bonus, right? Jelly of the Month Club.
Yeah. Just watched that the other day. My favorite.
So good.
But yes.
It's my favorite. So good.
Okay. So the year is not over, as Kelly said. It's not. We're in this weird layover period because it's not over, but 2026 is kind of already starting. So make the most of it before you take your time off for the holidays. You should take a couple of days, of course, and celebrate, but it's still time to work. You don't completely write off the rest of the month of December. And we actually today have something to talk about that can maybe get your deals moving a little bit more this time of year, especially. We've in most markets over the country, we've kind of had a little bit of a reversal from where we were a few years ago, where it was an extreme seller's market, multiple offers on everything. Now it's a little bit more balanced, maybe leaning toward buyer's market. That might shift a little bit, as rates drop and things like that into 2026, but that's kind of where we're at now. And so Kelly has something that he wants to talk about today called the reverse offer. I had never heard of this, so he explained it a little bit to me before we started recording here, and it seems like a really good way to kind of get people moving, right? Get them off the pot, so to speak, and kind of get conversation started. So, Kelly, let's talk about it. What is the reverse offer?
100%. This is really cool. And I think it's gaining a little bit of traction across maybe America, maybe not, maybe just a Phoenix, Arizona thing. I don't know. But guys, this is really cool. So pay attention. As you know, we don't go long here. We go hard hitting and we just get after it here. So we're going to get right into the strategy of a reverse offer. We have a whole presentation on this. If somebody would want to see our presentation, shoot me a DM at Kelly Cook Homes on Instagram, shoot me a DM. I can get you this information. But a reverse offer effectively is if you have a listing and you are basically doing a mind twist on the whole process. Because typically what happens, right? A buyer agent comes in with their client, whatever. They see the house. They don't like it. They do like it, whatever. And if they don't like it, they hopefully give you feedback. Or if they do like it, they hopefully give you feedback. But the reality is, if they don't make an offer, that's their feedback. They don't like it. For some reason, maybe it's priced too high. Maybe they didn't like something to do with the house, whatever the case may be. Now, you don't know sometimes as a seller or a seller's agent why they didn't make an offer. See, you think that they feel the price is too high. Everyone thinks that, well, certainly if they think it's $50K lower market value than what I'm asking, they'll just make an offer for $50K lower. That's not how it works. In fact, the majority of the time, that's not how it works. And anyone who's been in real estate for a long enough period of time understands that. Now, if you're an investor and you're in a low price point, that's different story. They'll throw low ball stuff at and just see what sticks on the wall, right? But a typical regular buyer represented by an agent, most cases, if they feel the house is overpriced, they are not going to just take a run at it and give you an offer for what the market price may be in their opinion. Okay. So as a listing agent, here's what you can do. You give them an offer. But Kelly, you just said the listing agent would give them an offer. Yes. That's exactly what I said. It's a reverse offer. So let's say your house is listed at $500,000. You're selling it, and you could easily make the argument that it's not quite worth $500,000. Let's say if you are being, unbiased and the seller was being unbiased, you could say it's worth, let's just make up a number, 475. And no one's making an offer at 475 or even under that. What you can do when someone comes in, they have the showing, they give you feedback of something, right? And you could say, awesome, thank you so much. And then you don't have to give them the heads up, or you can, up to you. Probably want to give them the heads up before you send it, right? Like you normally should. But you then give it to the seller. You say, Mr. Seller, here's the deal. I think this buyer, based on their feedback and what they said, they have some interest in the house. And here's why. Maybe because they know they want to be in that school district. Maybe because they only like houses with 3-car garages. And this house has a 3-car garage, and most have 2-car garages in the neighborhood. Whatever it is, you have this kind of feeling that they would like the house, but something's holding them back. And they might just tell you it's overpriced. They may not. But you say, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I think we have nothing to lose here. Let's send them an offer. You sure, Kelly? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so you go through the process with the seller and you explain to them that you're going to send them an offer for what you would be willing to accept. But then I give up my leverage. Well, not really, because you're okay accepting this number, and there's no more negotiation after you submit this offer, unless you want there to be more negotiation. Up to you. But let's say you said my lowest number, bottom lines, Kelly, is 475. The seller says that to you as a listing agent. Then in that situation, you say, cool, we're going to write an offer with the terms that you would prefer to have, assuming you don't know what the buyer prefers, and 475. You write the offer up as if you were the buyer's agent, and you have them sign it, and you send it over. Now, this gets the wheels turning of the buyer agent and the buyer. And many times, guys, this will get the offer going. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you every time, or even the majority of the times, they said, oh, this is fantastic. Let me just go ahead and accept 475, and we're good to go. No. But what if they didn't accept 475, but it got them engaged? And they said, you know what, 475, we never thought you'd go there, but that's still too high for my client, but he'd do 465. Now, maybe your seller won't go there, or he will. Who knows? But now you have a legitimate conversation with a legitimate buyer and their agent about selling the house, which never would have happened if you just would have said, thank you so much for that feedback. And what do we always say all the time? We say, thank you for the feedback. And listen, I just encourage you to put something on paper. If you feel it's worth whatever you feel it's worth, just give us an offer. And the buyer agent goes, yeah, okay. And it never happens. Almost never. Right? I've been doing this 20 years, guys. That's how it goes. And when I'm on the buyer side, that's pretty much how it goes with me. The client tells me it's too much. And I, prod them a little more, like, okay, well, what would you pay? And they might tell me, they may not, but there's something. But what if I got an actual legitimate offer signed by the seller for a number that is what we would consider a decent amount off the asking price, that we thought they probably want to do that? Because why? Who knows? Maybe because it's been on the market only 5 days and they would never go there. Or maybe it's been on the market for a year and they would never go there. Either way, there's these excuses in our mind that we think of as to why something won't happen, but now you put it in writing and away we go. So when is this is overall, when is a good time? Really, any time can be good for a reverse offer. But what we say is this: a property that's been on the market for more than 14 days is ripe to do a reverse offer. If you're 14 days or less, you may not want to do it, because now you are going to give up some dollars and cents, right? Because it's kind of silly to send a reverse offer for like $1,000 off your asking price.
Right.
Just don't even bother, right? And you may not want to give it too much leverage up, because that first 14 days are very important on market. Okay. Listings that maybe had 5 showings or more and no offers. A buyer agent maybe that followed up but didn't write. Like they said some positive things like we talked about the house, but they didn't write an offer. Maybe feedback around price or competition. Like, hey, I just think you're a little too pricey because the house on the street, another house on the street are priced at X and you're higher. Number 5, maybe a motivated seller that's a little more flexible as well. Guys, we have clients that we know are just always just, let's just call it what it is, crotchety. And they're just like, I'm not doing anything. You just tell my and whatever, right? I have them all the time. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. But I had those clients.
They're just attracted to you. They all go to you.
It might just be me. And I need to reevaluate some of the things that I'm doing internally, right? but we also have nice clients too. And those people but maybe they're a little more hard pressed on a line in the sand for the price they will accept, and they're just not going to move. But if you present them with a creative strategy like this, then all of a sudden you get them to move, guys. And let me say one more thing. Did we mention anything about a price? We call it a price improvement around here, but really a price reduction, right? No, we didn't. But in theory, if you're priced at 500 and you write a reverse offer for somebody at 475, what is the seller just telling you that maybe he or she never told you before? They're
okay.
willing to accept 475.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say the reverse offer does not work out. Well, maybe after a couple days go by, you revisit that with the seller. You say, you know what, we're dead as a doornail right now, obviously in the marketplace. That buyer didn't accept that number. But now that you guys, you guys were obviously willing to accept 475. So what if we just moved the price? It improved the price down to 475 and now took advantage of all the people who are watching the house that haven't acted, that we don't know about. We only know about this one that we sent the reverse offer to, but there could be literally thousands of other people watching it from all over the world that are just kind of like sitting back, but the price moves a little bit into this realm, and now all of a sudden they're like, let's jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that could even, and tell me if I'm wrong here, and especially in a market like this, but doing a price reduction and then kind of more people see, oh, it's or price improvement, it's gone down a little bit. That could generate more interest, which then could actually move your price a little bit higher to what you originally asked, right? Maybe not the whole thing, but it doesn't necessarily sell for that 475, right? Because it could just generate more demand, essentially.
100%. And we could literally do a podcast, and maybe that'll be one of our ones that we do here pretty soon here, Elizabeth, because we could do a whole podcast on price improvements and the strategy around that, the psychological strategy around that. And we all know, if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now, the fastest way to a paycheck in real estate as a realtor, fastest way is a price reduction on a listing. Now, obviously, you have to have a listing first in order to do this, but assuming you have one or more, that's the fastest way, because there are buyers out there. Like right now in Phoenix, I can tell you that a good market in Phoenix, a good month in any market in Phoenix, there's going to be about 8,000 to 8,500 homes that will sell. It's a lot of homes, right? But we're talking 5 million people market, right? So big market. Yep, that's all serviceable for the most part, right? But suburbs and whatever. So call it 8,500 homes. Well, everyone's talking about national media, articles, online, whatever. No one's buying a house right now, because of all these reasons, right? Interest rates, it's the holidays, it's whatever, right? I looked at the stats just yesterday in Phoenix. 5,600 homes in the last 30 days, as of yesterday, had closed escrow, like in trailing 30 days. Okay. 5,600. Now, is that 8,000 or 8,500? No, but that's a really good month. That's like a March, that's an April, right? Every year traditionally. But 5,600 people are still buying and selling houses. That's a lot. So I don't care if you're a top 1% of an agent or team in America, you're selling top 1% selling 15, 20, 25 homes a month. 5,600 just sold in a month. So there are people out there buying and selling, whether we like it or not. That's what's
market
happening.
Share to take.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay. Well, everybody, like we said, we're wrapping up the year. You're starting 2026. You can still get some deals done before the end of this year. And this strategy that Kelly just shared with you is a really good one to present. If you're kind of feeling that strain of a more balanced market, right? Or a leaning toward a buyer's market. This is a really great way to kind of help put your client on top and get the home sold, get your paycheck, right? Especially as we close out the year. And as Kelly said, if you have any interest in seeing his presentation on that, you can go ahead and DM him on his Instagram, Kelly Cook Homes. Okay. I always want to say kellycookhomes.com because that's like
that works too for an email.
Yes.
That's a good email address.
But the Instagram, Kelly Cook Homes, go DM him there and he will be happy to share that with you. Or if you have any other questions about real estate, you can reach out to him there as well. We would love to get your questions and answer them on an upcoming podcast. And we hope everybody uses this trick and sees some good results as we close out 2025.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Elizabeth.